Well, if I'm going to be talking about Fnaf, I may as well do it properly. Let me grab a poorly animated channel avatar and place it over sped up gameplay. Oh, this is the life of the YouTube barnacle, feeding on the obsessive clicks of children. What has my channel come to? How the mighty have fallen. Okay, right, haha, I know, Fnaf is over-discussed. This is probably the 50th video you've seen today analysing the horror of insert whatever Fnaf is least discussed at the time. But my opinions are objectively correct, okay? More so than these charlatans, okay? So, the first Fnaf is remembered fondly by the horror gaming community due to the unironic impact it had on the indie horror genre and the ironic impact it had on edgy children. But strip away all the haha funny jokes, and what you have is a solid game with genius mechanics and an incredible atmosphere.
Was that the—
Like, there's a reason so many people like to talk about the horror of this game. It gets everything right. The visuals, the audio, even the lore.
Was that the—
However, this genius certainly does not apply to the entirety of the series. In fact, I'm going to be making the case that it only really exists in the one game. Why this is a question with a million answers, so strap in as we ask why FNAF 1 is the only scary game in the series. Okay, so let's start with the most obvious and marketable harbingers of fear in this entire thing. The animatronics. I'm going to show you two pictures. Both are of a thing attempting to pass off as human. Which one do you find more scary? The left one, right? I hope that's what you said, because the entire argument of this video sort of depends on you saying left. Why is this clown fellow creepy? More so than the Terminator. From what we know, the Terminator is incredibly dangerous. Look at him go, woo-wee! The clown is creepy because we know nothing about it. Where is it? How old is the photo? It's staring straight at you, like it acknowledges your existence, but it's not human. That feels odd.
Clowning around!
Such a major part of horror is the unknown. This is a fairly well-known fact, making it all the more baffling when I see a new horror IP get ruined because of people desperate to provide lore and an explanation. In the original Five Nights at Freddys, the animatronics were a complete unknown. If you were observant and had +5 intelligence, you could discern from the newspaper clippings that 5 children were taken, killed, and stuffed in the suits. It was still an unknown if this made the suits haunted, or if the rotting bodies of children were just being carried around like dead weight, dancing and singing during the day. The player will think up whatever's scariest to them. The minimalistic explanation and lore provided is perfect. The design of the animatronics also played a major role in making the game as scary as it was. Going back to the great clown metaphor, there's something to be said about making something creepy and not scary. The design of the original animatronics was grounded, minus the free roaming and vigil stealth tech. In later games, they either became smooth space-age robots or spiky, edgy Sonic OCs. Looking at this image of Freddy, you could feasibly imagine him existing as an IRL children's mascot. He doesn't appear in any way threatening, certainly no more than actual animatronics that existed in real life. He doesn't have a billion teeth or badass rhino horns. The fact that the animatronics aren't outwardly threatening is what makes it so unnerving when they start acting quirky throughout the nights. When Freddy looks up into the camera, we don't know what he's thinking. Is he waiting for us to look away so he can move? Or is he looking through the camera at us, sending a message that he is coming so that we can get ready for Freddy?
a bit quirky.
No, scratch that. Just make the game antagonist literal fucking Terminators with human mimic tech. That'll go down great. Hiding the animatronics in the dark is a great way to draw the player in. In the shadows, they seem so distant, almost incorporeal. This is helped by the fact we never see them move. We never know how fast they are. Do they even move according to the laws of physics? As they get closer to the office, they physically get closer to the cameras, suddenly making them feel real. The thing creaking the floorboards in the hallway is now looming over your bed. The only thing that can stop them is reinforced steel doors. Even when you see them in the flesh, it's only a head peeking round a door or through a window. This keeps them from seeming clumsy. You don't see them leave the outside of your office. They're there one moment and then they're gone. In Fnaf 2, the animatronics spend a few moments standing in the middle of the room just staring. We can only assume they strolled all the way to that point and now patiently wait for you to throw on the mask. See, the doors are a good mechanic. They don't feel too gamey. The Freddy head, on the other hand, really does just make the animatronic seem incompetent, getting fooled by Scooby-Doo tier disguises. Okay, let's touch on the jump scares. As I said, FNAF 1 is the scariest game in the series. This also applies to the jump scares. Why is that? Jumping through the air isn't scary. Just moves closer towards you. Trying way too hard. A close second. Literally just a moving PNG. It's a loud noise and a sudden burst of on-screen motion, not exactly hard to do, but it's how close they are to you, the way they're lit, that makes them seem so real. Honestly, even though it makes no sense, I love how the light hits their faces, like the screen you're playing on is shining forward onto them. Also, controversial opinion, but I'm tired of people saying that the jump scares are cheap and ruin the tension the game builds. What the fuck else was Scott supposed to do? Program a dynamic fight scene in Click Team? It was like have the camera fall over to distant screaming. Or just have like a still death freeze frame. Building fear and tension is the hard part, but you're still allowed to bring that fear to some sort of climax. The fear of getting jump scared is still fear. I don't know exactly what these people wanted from the 2014 indie game. Maybe Scott should have programmed it in so Golden Freddy secretly sits behind you for the entire night. Wait a minute, PT has a fucking jump scare. Sorry, I don't mean to suck off Scott Cawthon. He never made a scary game again, but dear God, cut the guy a break.
He continues to be super wealthy, and will continue to use that wealth to fund people who want to oppress me and mine. So yeah, I think Scott Cawthon sucks.
Oh shit, Golden Freddy. Think back to when you were a child, alone, trying to get to sleep. It's dark, the entire family is in bed, and you're alone. You think, what if something was in my room with me? It could kill me, or take me, and no one would know. Your heart rate increases, you lie as still as possible, now aware of every tiny creak and sound around you. Everyone has experienced this kind of fear at some point. I experienced it as well, with Slender Man and Golden Freddy. Yeah, okay, yeah, laugh it up. I know, it's funny. Back then I was a stupid kid. Back then, Golden Freddy was this poster and this JPEG of a yellow bear. The lighting, the empty eyes staring at you, even the giggle. The fact that this was a total mystery in an already mystery-filled game with no explanation. He crashes the entire thing, breaking the fourth wall, almost appearing as an entity that haunts the game itself, not the pizzeria. Like, what would I do if Golden Freddy became real, pulled my IP address and teleported straight into my room? True terror. This fear would only be surpassed by the purple guy animatronic from Fnaf 2. Later games never got the design of characters right. The Fnaf 2 toy animatronics tried to capitalize off the creepy doll, dead glass eyes, clean skin thing, but drifted too far into the trying to be creepy zone to be creepy. On the other end of the scale is Springtrap and the Fnaf 4 animatronics that went way too far into the scary zone. Like, people say Springtrap is a genius slasher design, and I would say that that's true, but slashers are killing machines first, nightmare-inducing entities second.
You are an amateur and a fool. I'm gonna lay you out.
Why don't we just give up, partner?
Like how a crackhead with an MP5 is pretty damn dangerous, whilst the Blair Witch is subtle and still probably capable of more.
Come down to Freddy Fazbear Pizza Fred Bear Bear.
Okay, the pizzeria should also get a mention. As with the animatronics, the horror is in the subtle. In FNAF 2, the horror was the dark hallway in front of you, and FNAF 3 onwards was just tryharding. But in the first game, the danger was all around you, creaking and groaning ambience, making it hard to determine what's just a building and what's not. The darkness plays a major role here. You can't see anything outside your office, like staring into a void. Only a quick flash of light letting you know that there is a world out there. It's old and falling apart. The neglect of the building emphasizes how alone you are. This place is certainly running on reduced staff.
Doesn't taste like a chicken nugget.
The changing newspapers and posters is another genius idea from Scott. It's such a subtle way of unnerving the player. First time round, if you're stressed out or playing like a sweat, you wouldn't notice them, but it's great in making the building itself feel uncanny, changing itself when your back is turned. As I said with the animatronics, keeping things more realistic helps the player suspend their disbelief and become more immersed in the experience. In other FNAFs, you're in sprawling, huge pizzerias, underground bunkers, or self-referential horror attractions. In FNAF 1, you're in a Chuck E. Cheese. There, no catch, no twist, just an arcade and birthday venue. The setting being so grounded in reality is what makes the goofy concept of free-roaming animatronics hunting you seem like a genuinely terrifying prospect. Later games were a bit more on the nose and self-referential concerning how ridiculous the concept is.
But I honestly thought we'd have more by now. If we don't have something really cool by next week, then we may have to suit you up in a furry suit and make you walk around saying, boo.
But in the first game, it's played completely straight, and it's what made the first game genuinely scary. Random sounds will play, varying between normal and paranormal. The pipe organ music is creepy, and I like how it's coming from the main room, meaning you won't be able to figure out if it's simply a machine malfunctioning or an animatronic doing some creepy shit. The audio garbles in the It's Me are iconic, and I appreciate how little time they appear for. All the creepy video and audio distortions and changes take advantage of another underused trope in horror games that I love. And that's the just out of the corner of your eye double guessing type shit that puts the player directly into the experience of the game. Was what I just saw programmed in, or am I just imagining things as I play?
I just simultaneously whipped a nene!
I've touched on lore aspects a bit during the video, and lore doesn't play a major role in the first game, but it's instrumental in removing any fear from later installments. How about I explain the backstory of these two images? This clown is an image I found on the first page of Google. The Cyberdyne Systems Model 101 Series 800 version 2.4 Terminator, once referred to as Uncle Bob by John, was sent from the future. It's hard to be scared of something if you can write a detailed biography about it. The lore of Fnaf is contrived and stupid, and when you know every motive, every date, the name of every character, the mystery is stripped away and the monster in front of you is now just a bloated wiki page. It pisses me off when people entertain the notion that Scott wanted to tell this complex story, or that anything he put in any game after 2 had any intended payoff and wasn't solely meant to provoke lore YouTubers into providing more free advertising. I mean, I sympathise for the guy. He clearly just wanted dead children and a killer responsible, but the infant, stupid children and MatPat wouldn't shut the fuck up about pink and purple guys.
This is not Fnaf. That's not Fnaf.
It's been such a difficult day for
No.
all of us.
He even admits it.
But like I said, I can't jump in and confirm it, because then people would stop caring at all.
The story wasn't his anymore, and he was just entertaining the delusions of the YouTube scary top 10 men. Again, going back to things becoming endlessly less scary when we have an explanation. FNAF lore is such an ironic fucking meme that people forget back in the day it was actually taken seriously. We had all the information we needed, nothing was being kept secret just for the sake of adding more mystery. Remember when the Bite of 87 was a whodunit and not a who, why, where, and what timeline done it? Okay, I'm sorry to constantly shit on Cawthon's storytelling, and it's not all his fault. But the ominous mention that someone lost a frontal lobe due to one of the animatronics is a good demonstration of why the place is falling apart, and a subtle warning of how strong these machines are.
Poggers!
But why does it have to be explained to the fucking nth degree? I don't even think this is the Bite of 87. I'm pretty sure this is in 1983 or something. I don't know. There are a few issues with adding extensive lore to a horror game. The first and biggest issue is the previously mentioned rationalization of what we're seeing. When the hallway posters change, it's no longer unsettling. Instead, we're just seeing, oh my god, the crying child. Is that the puppet? Oh wait, no, it's the third child Michael Afton killed. Secondly, when everything is viewed through the lens of why is this happening in terms of lore, the player becomes separated from the experience. When you play for the first time, the player's essentially placing themselves into the shoes of the night guard. You are envisioning yourself in the experience. However, with the knowledge that, oh, this is actually Mowgli Afton, the nephew of Fredbear, who is completing the trials of the Zodiac Ascension, you're not playing a game anymore. You're playing through a vignette of a story someone else is writing. I think FNAF has been an eye-opener for some that the horror genre doesn't need pages upon pages of lore and explanations for absolutely everything. Analog horror, the latest big indie horror craze, sort of depends on discussions surrounding the lore. And by not following the example of FNAF, some creators have been able to make some really great stuff. Firstly, they have a story already planned out, already a good start, and they understand how to provide small bits of information or lore that when pieced together make a new, terrifying narrative, rather than an edgy, cyborg, robotic mess. Ah, you've all been hoodwinked. This has all been an advert for my new analog horror ARG. The mystery of cock.
This is an emergency message from the Metropolitan Police Force. This is a mandatory broadcast. Turning off your television or attempting to not view the following video is in violation of the 1992 Public Assistance Act. You are legally required to view the following broadcast. This man is wanted by police due to information he may have concerning. If you have any information concerning the whereabouts of this individual, please dial your local emergency service number immediately. Failure to do so may put you and others in danger. Thank you for listening to this emergency broadcast. Please now seal any opening to your home. This could be doors or windows. If you have information concerning the wanted individual but do not have immediate access to a telephone, you are advised to seek shelter in a hidden area of your home immediately. This could be in a cupboard or...
And now, a special broadcast from Her Majesty the Queen.
Although, we the British people, share an unbreakable spirit, these past few months have perhaps been the most trying I, or any citizen of the Commonwealth, have ever experienced. I myself, have witnessed the birth of my great-grandchildren, seeing firsthand the horror of the threat we face. I know, however, the resolve of our resilient nation, shall outlast any storm. In times like this I think of the writings of Edward Fitzgerald, this too shall pass. Someday we shall all look back, be it from this earth or after, and reflect on the beauty and bravery that exists among our species. God bless you all, and God bless England.
You have been listening to Her Royal Highness, the Queen.
Ooh, that'll send a shit down the old trouser leg. If you've made it to the end, thank you for watching. Thank you for engaging with my videos in any way. Some of the comments on my last few videos have really been encouraging, and I'm so happy that people have in any way been enjoying the absolute fucking cancer that I'm producing. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Thank you.